Dear students, we have finished the third chapter with exercise and extra questions. Now we shall start studying the next chapter named chemical bonding. So let's start it. Very important and very nice statement. Scientists are constantly discovering new compounds, orderly arranging the facts about them, trying to explain with the exciting knowledge, organizing to modify the early views or evolve theories for explaining the newly observed facts. You know, scientists do all these things, and we are blessed with the more and more awareness, more and more knowledge about the scientific facts. We know that anything that has mass and occupies space is called matter. Matter is made up of one or different type of elements. Under normal condition, except noble gases, no other element exists as an independent atom. Molecule. A group of atoms combined together in a fixed ratio is found to exist together as one species, having characteristic properties different from their constituents. Remember, such a group of atoms are called molecules. Obviously, there must be some force that holds these constituent atoms together in the molecule. Let us define chemical bond. The attractive force which holds various constituents, maybe atoms or ions, together in a different chemical species is called chemical bond. But still, there are question arises. Now, what question arises? Think of it and try to understand it. That there are question arises. What are the various questions that arises? Why do atoms combine? What is the need? Why these atoms has to combine? Why are certain combination possible? You know, we will see only NaCl. We will not see NaCl3 or Na2Cl. No, we will only see NaCl. So why such certain combinations are possible? We know H2O. We do not get H3O2. No, we'll get H2O. So why certain combinations are possible? Why are certain elements combined? Why certain elements combine while the other elements do not combine? Like we can see NaCl, but we cannot see sodium combining with all the elements. Why do molecules possess definite shapes? Why do they have a particular kind of shapes? To answer these questions, different theories and concepts have been put forward time to time. These theories and concepts that we have to study in this chapter. These theories and concepts are, those theories and concepts which we are going to study in the chapter are Clausius-Lewis approach, valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, VSEPR theory, valence bond theory, VB theory, molecular orbital theory, MO theory. So these are the various concepts that we are going to study. Each theory is related to the electronic configuration and periodic table. Whatever the theories we are going to study, they must be or they are based on the electronic configuration of an element. Each theory explains. There are some things common about all this theory, and what is that? Each system has a tendency to become stable, more stable. Every system in the universe wants to become stable. and stability is possible by decreasing the energy. What is chemical bonding again? Chemical bonding is nature's way to chemical bonding is nature's way of lowering the energy of the system to attain stability. So with the help of the chemical bonding, nature makes these atoms and molecules to become more stable. Now let us look at the Cossel-Lewis approach to the chemical bonding. Cossel and Lewis were first to provide a logical explanation of valence. So this Cossel and Lewis, they have first tried to explain the uh, uh, bonding. So, and their approach was truly logical. So they are known for it. Cossel and Lewis were first to provide logical explanation of valence, which was based on the inertness of noble gases. So they have they might have thought that why noble gases are stable, and then they came to know the reason, and then based on that they have developed a theory. Lewis pictured an atom in terms of positively charged kernel or a nucleus plus inner electron and outer shell that could accommodate the maximum of 8 electrons. You know, Lewis has imagined an atom as if it is a kernel. Kernel is the center of the atom where mostly the positive charge is available, and some electrons are also available which do not take part into the uh, into the bonding, into the valence. This electron we call them as a inner core electron. So according to Lewis, the kernel of an atom is the combination of the nucleus and the inner core electron. Nucleus plus the inner electron and outer shell that could accommodate the maximum of 8 electrons. So he said that apart from the kernel, there is one part of an atom which is the outer electron, and this outer electron can be maximum 8, which are simply represented by Ns2 and P6. He further assumed this all his work was based on the assumptions or postulations. He further assumed that those 8 electrons occupy the corner of the cube which surrounds a kernel. So according to him, these electrons are filled into the area which are cubical in shape, and these cubes actually surround the kernel. Thus, single outer shell electron of sodium would occupy one corner of cube, while in case of the noble gases, all 8 corners would be occupied. This way, when all 8 corners are occupied, the atom reaches a stable electronic configuration. Lewis postulated that atoms achieve the stable octet when they are linked by the chemical bond. You can see the picture, what they have or what uh, uh, Lewis postulated or Lewis thought of. You can see that I have expressed the kernel with the red ink, but with the green ink I have explained the electron for sodium. Sodium has a one electron apart from the kernel, which is represented here. And you can see that there is a cubical shape in which further electrons can be filled. But when you look at the argon, you can see that all 8 corners of the cubic or of the cube have been occupied by 8 electrons, and argon even have a kernel. So according to the concept given by Lewis, that when an atom has all its 8 corners of the cube occupied by electron, the atom is going to be stable. And this is the reason why the inert gases are being stable, or why these inert gases are found stable in the nature. they do not need to make bond. Then why this element make bond? So by making the bond, these elements, some or the other way, occupy all these 8 corners by electron, become stable, and that is why the various elements combines to each other. Sodium releases its 1 electron and make Na+1. Chlorine gain 1 electron and make Cl minus. Thus, NaCl, an ionic compound, is formed by exchanging of electron. Remember, sodium release 1 electron, chlorine gain 1 electron, they exchange the electron and then they form NaCl, which is an ionic compound. By sharing of electron, chlorine, hydrogen, fluorine, etc. are formed. We have already seen them into the 10th standard. So we can say that either by sharing or exchange of electrons, element attains stable electronic configuration in the form of octet of electron. Now we shall study about the Lewis symbol. G. N. Lewis, an American chemist, realized that only valence electrons are used for making bonds. Core electrons do not participate in bonding. Scientist Lewis suggested that atoms should be represented by putting dots equal to their number of valence electrons around the symbol of an element. Such representation or notation of an element are called Lewis symbol. For example, Lewis symbol for the element of second period are as under. Let me try to explain, my dear students, that Lewis found that the core electron do not participate into the bonding. So they are the valence electron which really participate. When valence electron only participate, he suggested that we should put the dots equal to the number of valence electron present around the kernel. So let us take an example. In lithium, around the kernel only 1 electron is present, or we can say that 1 electron of that cube has been occupied. Same in beryllium 2, boron 3, carbon 4, nitrogen 5, oxygen 6, fluorine 7, and neon 8. So by putting the equal number of dots, we can represent these elements. And when we represent these elements this way, we call them as a Lewis dot symbol or Lewis symbol. Significance of Lewis dot structure or significance of Lewis symbol. What is the meaning of writing? Why should we write the Lewis symbol? The number of valence electron is equal to the number of dots around the symbol on Lewis symbol. Using the number of valence electron, we can calculate the group valence. Now for group valence, we have already established a formula. So group valence is equal to number on the dots of the Lewis symbol, or 8 minus the number of dots on Lewis symbol, or 8 minus valence electrons. So these are the formulas by which we can get or we can calculate the group valence, and this is how the Lewis symbol is going to be useful. Kossel, in relation to the chemical bonding, drew attention to the following facts. Number one, Kossel make us aware about few facts regarding the bonding. In periodic table, the highly electronegative elements, which are known as halogen, and highly electropositive elements, which are known as alkali metals, are separated by noble gases. You can see that group number 17 is halogen, group number 18 is noble gases, and again group number 1. Group number one is alkali metals. So if we combine, if we make a circle full of the periodic table, then we can say that 17, 18, 1. So group number 18 actually separates the group number 17 and group number 1. The formation of negative ion from the halogen atom and a positive ion from an alkali metal atom is associated with the gain and loss of electron by the respective atom. So halogen make negative ion by gaining electron, Alkali metals make positive ion by losing electron. Atom gain positive charge when donates electron, which is accepted by the element, which makes it negative ion. So one atom donate electron, it become positively charged. Another atom accept electron and it become negatively charged. The negative and positive ion thus formed attain stable noble gas electronic configuration. These elements, they either donate the electron or they gain the electron to make their electronic configuration very similar to the noble gas. Noble gas have stable electronic configuration with outer shell configuration Ns2 and P6, 8 electrons which bring stability and make the octet of the electron. There is an important note for you, my dear students. Helium, a noble gas that forms a duplet instead of octet, which is an exception. Remember that helium is a noble gas and it cannot make octet, but it makes duplet, 1s2. The negative and positive ions, thus forms are stabilized by the electrostatic force of attraction, which is called ionic bond or electrovalent bond. So let us understand the causal concepts of making bond. Let us first look at the example of NaCl. Whatever the theory we have studied, let us look at how the ionic compounds or electrovalent compounds are formed. Sodium, neon 3s1. It loses one electron and becomes Na+1, which is exactly like neon. This electron, which was donated by sodium, is accepted by chlorine. Chlorine, which was neon 3s2 3p5, by accepting one electron, it becomes like neon 3s2 3p6, which is very similar to argon. And this Na plus and Cl minus combines to give us the NaCl with the help of the electrostatic force of attraction. Same way, my dear students, we can understand about CaF2. Ca, argon for S2, releases 2 electron, loses 2 electron, and or donates 2 electron and becomes Ca plus 2, which is very similar to argon. Now, these 2 electrons have been accepted by fluorine. Fluorine, the electronic configuration is helium 2s2 2p5. When it gains 1 electron, it becomes F-1, which is similar to, or which is helium 2s2 2p6, which is similar to neon. But here the 2 electrons have been given by calcium. So 2 fluorine gets this 2 electron and turns out to be 2F-. This Ca plus 2 and 2F- combine together with the electrostatic force of attraction or electrovalent forces and make CaF2, which is an ionic compound. So this is how, my dear students, we understand about the causal concepts. The bond formed as a result of the electrostatic attraction between the positive and negative ion was termed as electrovalent bond. The electrovalence is thus equal to the number of unit charges on it. Thus, calcium is assigned as the positive electrovalence of 2, while fluorine a negative electrovalence of -1. So you can see that for chlorine we have the negative electrovalence of -1, sodium we have positive electrovalence of +1, calcium we have positive electrons of positive valence electrovalence of +2, fluorine we have positive electrovalence of -1, and this is how the charge is also called the electrovalence. Causel's postulations provide the basis for the modern concepts regarding ion formation by electron transfer and the formation of ionic crystalline compounds. So Causel's postulates, Causel's ideas, Causel's theory was the first logical attempt to understand about the formation of the various ions and how the crystalline forms of the ionic compounds have been produced. His views have proved to be of great value in the understanding and systemization of ionic compounds. His views was proved to be great value because they have initiated lots of other researches in the understanding and systemization of ionic compound. His views were very helpful to understand the formation of the ionic compound. At the same time, he did recognize the fact that a larger number of compounds did not fit into these concepts. Remember, my dear students, that he was even aware that his postulates, his imaginations, his theory was not exactly what it should be. It was not perfect. He was aware that there were so many uh, compounds were there which were not fitting into his theory. Let us look and understand a collaborative work between the Causel and Lewis, which is known as the octet rule. Causel and Lewis in 1916 developed an important theory of chemical combination between atoms known as the electron theory of chemical bonding. According to the electron theory of chemical bonding, according to this atom or according to this theory, atom can combine either by transfer of valence electron from one atom to another, that means gaining or losing electron, or by sharing of valence electrons in order to have an octet in their valence shell. This is what it is known as the octet rule. This theory tells us that when the compound is formed in such a way that the elements share their electron, the element share their electron or exchange their electron, element gain electron or element lose electron, and they try to acquire the electronic configuration like the electronic configuration of inert gases. This is what they call it as an octet rule, because by trying to get the electronic configuration like inert gases, they acquire 8 electrons in their valence shell. Now we should understand, or now we have studied about the formation of the ionic bond. We should study now about the formation of covalent bond. Langmuir, a scientist, refined or improved the postulates of Lewis by abandoning the idea of stationary cubical arrangement of octet. Langmuir was very much aware about the truth, about the goodness of the Lewis work. But there he found a problem with the stationary orbite. He found that Lewis suggested that the electrons are filled in a cubical shape. So he improved his theory and said that the electrons are not arranged in the cubical shape. Langmuir introduced a new type of bond which is known as the covalent bond. The new theory which was given by Langmuir is known as the Lewis-Langmuir theory. Lewis-Langmuir theory can be understood by considering the formation of chlorine molecule. Chlorine, the electronic configuration is neon 3s2 3p5. Chlorine is one electron short of argon configuration. Thus, to obtain the stability, each chlorine shares its one electron and makes shared bond pair of electron which belongs to both the chlorine atom, and thus each chlorine acquires octet and attains stability. What I read, let us try to understand with the figure. You can see that chlorine has 7 electron in its valence shell, so we have put 8 dots around chlorine. We take another chlorine atom even and put 8 dots around chlorine atom. Now what happens? Each chlorine come forward and donate its one electron, which is represented with the green color. So one electron from right side chlorine, another electron from left side chlorine. Now what happens? They have shared a pair of electron, or they have shared 2 electrons. These 2 electrons, which are represented by green dots, are with chlorine that is on the left side or with the chlorine that is right side. It means you can see that this chlorine now has 8 electrons. You can see that this chlorine has now 8 electrons, including these 2 electrons. Same way you can understand about this chlorine even. This chlorine even possesses 8 electrons now. So this chlorine has 8 electrons, the other chlorine has 8 electrons. they some or the other way make the chlorine molecule. Here in chlorine, each chlorine, now if we write them separately, with this green colored shared bond pair of electron, you can see that both the chlorine separately have 8 electrons. That means by sharing the electron, and when this shared pair of electron is common between these two chlorine, this they acquire the octet field. They acquire the electronic configuration similar to the argon. They acquire the electronic configuration similar to the inert gas. The dot representation does now represent the structure of molecule known as Lewis dot structure. This, when we use two atoms, it is known as the Lewis dot structure. In the Lewis dot structure, there are two types of electron. You can see that I have represented here two types of electron. One I have represented with the green dots, another I have represented with the red dots. So the electron which I have represented with the red dots, they are known as the lone pair of electrons, which are still there on chlorine, which have not been used for making the bond. Whereas we have the another type of electron which are known as the shared pair of electron, and this shared pair of electron represented with the two dots of chlorine, they are used to make bonds. Shared bond pair of electrons represents the covalent bond. That is, one pair of shared pair of electron is equal to one covalent bond, or one covalent bond is equal to two shared pair of electron, one by each atom taking part into the bonding. Same way, two covalent bond is equal to four shared pair of electrons, two electrons shared by each atom taking part into the bonding. Three covalent bond is equal to 6 shared electrons. Each atom share 3 electrons by each atom taking part into the making of bond. Lewis dot structure can be written for other molecules too. So we have seen the Lewis dot structure for chlorine molecule. We can write the same way Lewis dot structure for the other molecules even. In this Lewis dot structure which we are going to write, in which combining atoms may be identical or different. So when we write a Lewis dot structure for a molecule, we may have same kind of atoms making the molecule or different kind of atoms making the molecule. The important conditions for writing Lewis dot structures, let us study, my dear students. Each bond is formed as a result of sharing of electrons to the shared band between the atoms. So each bond is formed by sharing of electrons. When two electrons are shared, one covalent bond is formed. When 4, 2, when 6, 3. This is how we can understand. Each combining atom contributes at least one electron to the shared pair. Remember, my dear students, that this rule says us that for making a bond, each atom has to share the electron. Now this rule will be violated, or this rule is not always true. That we will see in future. But let us first understand that according to this concept, the atom has to share an electron for making a bond. The combining atom attain outer shell noble gas configuration as a result of the sharing of electron. Whenever the sharing of electron